Dave, of course, the last time we got together, and I'm sure you've covered it a zillion times in regards to the adversity and the challenges facing Billy Napier hitting the ground running on the recruiting trail. But certainly when you bring in Kamari Wilson, that catches a lot of people's attention and think, okay, Gator fans, maybe you do have the right guy in regards to the recruiting process of what we just saw for the last 3 to 4 years. So your thoughts about where Napier's class stands and what other work has to be done?
Yeah, Mark made a splash on signing day with getting Kamari Wilson, getting Shamar James, especially those two guys that you were fighting for. You were fighting against Georgia for those two guys. And what did we say for the last few years? You've got to be able to, start winning some of those battles on a more consistent basis, and you're able to do so on signing day. And if you're going to close that gap, that talent gap that Alabama and Georgia holds against you, you've got to start getting more guys like that. So hopefully that first day, early signing day, that first opportunity was hopefully was a hint of what we'll see Billy Napier be able to do on the recruiting trail when he's given more time. And then starting that morning or early signing day, Devin Moore chose Florida over Notre Dame. So, 3 big-time guys that Florida really needed to get in on to kind of send a message that, hey, it is going to be a little different under Billy Napier there. So, of course, you look at the class right now, overall about 30th, but a lot of big commitments happened in the transition. Billy Napier decided not to stick with some of those guys because and he has that right. This is his team now. This is his class. And if he wants to go in a different direction with a lot of these recruits, then by all means, he has the right to do that. So we'll see in these next 6-7 weeks, Mark, as we go to the February part of signing day, where Florida's going to go. Transfer portal, I'm sure, will be a big part of where Florida should go. Maybe Zach Evans as a running back, Terrence Lewis, Maryland linebacker, maybe somebody to look out for there. They just got Jack Miller, who you know well about, Mark, there from Ohio State as a quarterback there, to probably back up Anthony Richardson. But if Anthony Richardson has some setbacks of injury with that knee, or he's been injury prone through his career or this past year at Florida, the Miller, a little bit of experience there, going through a heavy spring practice rotation last year for Ohio State that Florida could throw into the mix as well. Because look, we just talked about it. Emory Jones is gone. Who knows what Carlos Del Rio and Jalen Kittner are going to do with this new staff as well. One of those guys may leave as well. So Florida just needed some quarterback depth as a just in case there for the Gators. But Mark, I think where Florida will probably start looking now, UTEP wide receiver Jacob Coing, he just put himself in the portal. He was the 7th he was ranked 7th nationally in receiving yards this past season. So of course he enters the transfer portal. Florida's been in contact with him there. So I think that's one more name to look out for. But as far as recruiting goes, pure recruiting from the high school ranks, you start looking at some running backs there from the state of Louisiana that Billy Napier went and visited as soon as he was on the job at Florida. Trevor Etienne, Travis's little brother, Javante Citizen, both those guys from the state of Louisiana. So there's a connection there. And you'll see, I think, Etienne, more than likely a better chance for Napier to bring in this class more so than Citizen. So I think that's 2 big guys and 2 big targets I think you start looking out for. And Mark, before we go forward, we just got the unfortunate news before you and I went live here. Robbie Roper, a quarterback from the state of Georgia, Florida was in on. He had won the 5A, 7A, whatever classification he played in. He won the Offensive Player of the Year, but got the unfortunate news this morning. He passed away this morning, or complications started yesterday on Tuesday, and then his family from his Twitter account sent out the message that he had an unfortunate medical situation and he passed away. He was in contact with Florida all over the weekend and stuff. So medical situation there. So thoughts and condolences go out there to that family. Unfortunate situation that we're learning about here around the holidays. So never a good time for that. But his name is just kind of blown up because Florida was really in contact with him. And then we get that unfortunate news there. So while we're talking about recruiting, I'd be remiss if I can't bring that up.
Terrible.